Welcome to the Pages of Possibilities podcast. I have to be honest, I am incredibly ready to dive into today's topic because, frankly, I feel personally attacked by it.
Oh, really? Hitting a little close to home.
It's hitting my nightstand specifically. We're talking about journaling today. And, I think most people fall into two camps. People who journal religiously and people who buy journals religiously but never write in them. I am firmly in that second camp.
You're definitely not alone there.
Yes.
It's a whole phenomenon. There's something so alluring about the idea of journaling, isn't there?
Right? I mean, let me set the scene because I know I'm not the only one. You walk into a bookstore, you find that perfect notebook.
With the nice paper.
Yeah, the heavy cream-colored paper. You buy the perfect pen. And in that moment, you're not just buying stationery. You're buying a new, better version of yourself.
That's it, right there. You're buying the fantasy of the ordered self, the you that's reflective and calm and has it all figured out.
Exactly. I tell myself, this is it. I'm going to find clarity. But then Tuesday happens. I write a few pages. Wednesday, maybe one page. Thursday, I'm tired, so I skip it.
And then Friday, you feel guilty about skipping Thursday, so you skip Friday too.
Yes, and by next week, that beautiful notebook is basically a coaster for my water glass.
It's the classic cycle of enthusiasm followed by abandonment. And when that happens, what's the story we usually tell ourselves?
Oh, I know it well. I'm lazy, or I just don't have the discipline. It feels like a character flaw, a failure of willpower.
That's the standard narrative for sure.
Yeah.
But we've been digging into this really fascinating article by an author named Steve, and he just completely flips that script. His argument is that your willpower isn't the problem.
It's not.
No. Your strategy is the problem.
Well, that is a huge relief to hear. So you're saying it's not a moral failing?
Not at all. Steve's whole point is that we fail because we rely on motivation, which is an emotion, it's temporary in state mechanics. The real goal is lowering the barrier to entry.
Lowering the barrier, so making it easier to do the thing than to not do the thing.
Precisely. You have to find the keystone that locks the habit in place. You have to sort of outsmart your own brain's desire to take the easy way out. You can't just wish for the habit. You have to engineer it.
Okay, so we're not going to hustle our way into a habit. We're going to engineer it. I like that.
Exactly. And Steve lays out 4 specific strategies for this. And some of them really go against that typical grind and push through advice we always hear.
Let's jump in because the first one I think is my biggest hurdle. I sit down to write and I just freeze. I feel like I need to write something smart. Steve calls this escaping the perfection trap.
This is the silent killer of so many habits. It's that pressure you feel the moment the pen is hovering over the paper. We think if something's written down, it has to be good.
Yeah, good grammar, good penmanship, good insights.
Especially the insights. We feel like we need to generate some profound, life-changing thought before we've even had our coffee.
I do this all the time. I'm sitting there thinking, if a historian finds this in 100 years, they're going to be so bored. I'm performing for an imaginary audience.
Right.
Like if I just write, I am tired and I want a donut, I've somehow failed the assignment of being a deep thinker.
And that's the whole issue right there, treating it as a performance instead of a tool. Steve explains that when we see the journal as a product, something to be perfected, it stops being a sanctuary and starts being a job.
So how do you dismantle that? It's hard to turn off that inner critic.
You have to completely reframe the purpose.
Yeah.
This is not literature. It's not a memoir for publication. It's an act of mindfulness.
Yeah.
Just observing what's in your mind without judgment.
So honesty over quality.
Exactly. Embrace the mess. Steve is really specific here. He says, give yourself permission to have messy handwriting. Ignore spelling errors. The goal isn't a polished record. It's a release valve for your brain.
That's interesting. So the mess is actually a feature, not a bug.
It is. Think about it. If you're worrying about grammar, you aren't flowing. You're editing. And editing is a high-energy task. We want to lower the energy required.
Okay, I can do messy, but what about when my mind is just empty, blank page syndrome? I'm ready to be messy, but there's nothing there.
That's another form of perfectionism, too. The fear that you won't have anything worthy to say. And Steve's solution is so practical. Use a prompt.
See, I've always resisted prompts. It feels like cheating. Like it should just pour out of my soul, you know?
I get that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people feel that way. We see them as training wheels. But Steve suggests thinking of them more like a starter motor for a car. A prompt isn't cheating. It's cognitive offloading.
Cognitive offloading, okay.
It just means you're saving your brain some work. Coming up with a topic takes energy. Writing takes energy. A prompt removes that first step so you can go straight to the writing.
So it changes the task from create something from nothing to just answer this question.
Exactly. A much lower barrier.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so strategy 1 is stop trying to be perfect. Now, strategy 2 hits on something I'm so guilty of. It's the New Year's resolution syndrome.
Ah, yes, the instinct to go big.
It's a classic trap. I decide I'm going to journal, so I commit to writing like 3 full pages every single morning for 30 minutes. I want to change my life today.
And that impulse comes from a good place. It's enthusiasm. But Steve argues that this kind of ambition is almost always fatal to the habit.
But why? If you're motivated, shouldn't you ride that wave?
The problem is that motivation is a wave. It crests and then it crashes. When you commit to a big 30-minute session, your brain sees that as expensive in terms of energy.
It becomes a mountain. And on a Tuesday morning when I'm running late, that mountain just looks unclimbable.
Right. And because you can't climb the mountain, you do nothing. You go from 100 to 0.
Right.
So Steve's antidote to this is what he calls incremental commitment.
Meaning start small.
Meaning start so small it feels ridiculous, like it doesn't even count.
How small are we talking here?
5 to 15 minutes, maximum.
5 minutes? Really? I mean, can you even get any benefit from 5 minutes? That feels like you're barely scratching the surface.
Maybe. But remember, the goal right now isn't a deep psychological breakthrough. The goal is building the habit. And there's some real neuroscience here that Steve gets into.
Okay, lay it on me. Why is 5 minutes better than 30?
It's all about neural pathways. Every time you do something, you're carving a little path in your brain. To make that path permanent, you need repetition, not intensity. A 5-minute session you actually do is infinitely more powerful for your brain than a 30-minute session you plan to do but skip.
So we're physically rewiring our brain to just expect this behavior.
You're greasing the groove. By keeping it so low, 5 minutes, you remove the excuse. Even on your busiest day, you can find 5 minutes.
It makes the habit basically pain-free.
Exactly. And that creates a positive feedback loop. You did it yesterday, it was easy, you felt good, so you feel good about doing it today. Consistency starts to feel natural.
I like that. We focus so much on the output, the pages. But the real win is the input, just the act of sitting down.
That's it. You're building the identity of someone who journals. You can always add more time later. You just have to secure the beachhead first.
Got it. Secure the beachhead. And this leads right into the third strategy, which is all about making sure we actually take those 5 minutes. Engineering your environment.
Yeah, this goes back to what we said at the start. Stop relying on willpower. It's a finite resource. It's like a battery that just drains all day long.
Decision fatigue is so real. By evening, I can barely decide what to watch on TV, let alone start a whole new practice.
Right. If you have to use your limited willpower just to remember to journal, you're already losing. So Steve says you should let your environment do the heavy lifting.
So instead of forcing the habit, you design your space so the habit is almost inevitable.
Yes. And he offers 3 techniques for this. The first is consistency of time and place.
Like always at the kitchen table at 7 a.m.
Pretty much. Writing at the same time, same place, creates a subconscious trigger. Your brain sits in that chair and says, oh, okay, this is where we write.
It's like sleep hygiene. This chair equals right.
Exactly. But the second technique is the one I think is the most powerful. Habit stacking.
Oh, I've heard of this. It's like piggybacking a new habit onto an old one, right?
Yes, it's a concept from James Clear, and Steve applies it perfectly here. You anchor your new, fragile habit to something you already do every single day without fail.
For me, that's coffee. That is a non-negotiable. I am a zombie until the coffee is brewed. It happens 100% of the time.
Perfect anchor. So the strategy is you put your journal and pen directly next to the coffee maker.
So I literally can't miss it.
You pour your coffee, the journal is right there. You write while you sip. You're attaching the new habit to the old one. The formula is, after I do my current habit, I will do my new habit.
After I pour my coffee, I will write for 5 minutes. It completely takes the decision-making out of it. It just becomes part of the coffee ritual.
And the third technique reinforces that. Visual cues. Make the journal the loudest signal in the room.
So don't hide it in a drawer.
Never hide it. Out of sight, out of mind. Put it on your pillow. Put it right in the center of your desk. Leave it open to a fresh page with the pen on top.
Ooh, I love the idea of leaving it open. That eliminates one more tiny bit of friction. It sounds silly, but sometimes that's all it takes for me to grab my phone instead.
Friction is the enemy of new habits. You want to make it as frictionless as possible.
Okay, so we have a plan. Embrace imperfection, keep it short, snack it with coffee, but And I have to be the realist here again.
Please do.
No matter how good the plan is, life is going to happen. The kids get sick. I oversleep. I will miss a day.
You absolutely will. And this is the critical moment. This is where most people quit.
Strategy 4, the missed day protocol. Because when I miss a day, I feel like I've broken the chain, and then my instinct is to fix it.
And how do you try to fix it?
I try to make up for it. If I missed Tuesday, on Wednesday I try to write double. I have to fill in the blank space.
And that is the trap. Steve says this is the most common mistake. When you try to make up entries, you create a backlog.
It becomes a debt. I'm in journaling debt.
Exactly. And debt is stressful. The barrier to entry just doubled. The mountain grows back.
And when the mountain comes back, I quit.
So the solution is what Steve calls strategic grace.
Strategic grace. I like that.
It means acknowledging that missed days are not failures. They're just part of a real imperfect life. The best response is to do nothing extra.
Do nothing extra. That feels so counterintuitive.
It does, but guilt is a terrible fuel for long-term change. Steve says, don't criticize yourself. Don't write 2 entries. Just offer yourself some compassion and pick up where you left off. Today is today.
So just leave a page blank.
Leave it blank. Or draw a line through it. Just date the next entry for today and keep moving forward, not looking backward.
It prevents that snowball effect. It's like if you miss a workout, you don't go to the gym the next day and try to run for 4 hours.
Exactly. You just burn out. You just get back to your normal 20 minutes.
This really ties everything together. If you zoom out, there's a real theme here. We're moving away from journaling as an achievement and toward journaling as a practice.
There's a beautiful synthesis in the article for this. Steve uses a metaphor that I think perfectly captures the shift in mindset.
The monument versus muscle analogy.
Yes. He says we need to stop trying to build a perfect, unbroken monument of daily entries. That's what we usually aim for, this flawless record.
Which is fragile. One missed day, one crack, and the monument feels ruined, so why keep building?
Exactly. It's a brittle mindset. Instead, Steve says to think of consistency as strengthening a muscle.
I love that, because when you go to the gym, you don't judge the workout on whether it was perfect. You judge it on whether you showed up.
And think about the comparison. Occasional heavy efforts, that's the monument mindset. It just leads to strain and burnout.
But regular, moderate reps.
That's where the change happens. The simple act of showing up for your 5 to 15 minutes day after day, that's what builds emotional resilience. It forges those neural pathways.
It's the cumulative effect. A muscle doesn't get big in one day, but over a year, the change is massive.
And a muscle doesn't disappear if you miss one workout. You just get back to it.
So the final verdict is really consistency over intensity.
Always. Intensity makes for a good story, but consistency is what makes for a good life.
That is such a crucial takeaway. It stops being about what did I write and starts being about did I write.
Precisely.
So let's do a quick recap. We are abandoning the idea that our journal needs to be a literary masterpiece. We're embracing the mess.
You're starting so small it feels silly, 5 to 15 minutes max.
We're engineering our environment,
Yeah.
stacking the habit, putting the notebook next to the coffee pot so we don't have to rely on willpower.
And when we miss a day, which we will,
Huh.
we're practicing strategic grace. No backlogs, no guilt, just moving forward.
It sounds so much more doable when you lay it out like that. It really takes the pressure off.
It does. And if we connect this all to the bigger picture, like there's one final thought from this deep dive, it's really worth chewing on.
What's that?
It goes back to that muscle analogy. If journaling is really about building emotional resilience and not about recording history, then maybe the value isn't in the words you wrote down today at all.
Wait, so the content doesn't matter?
In a way, no. We obsess over the content. Was this insightful? Did I solve my problems? But maybe the true value is just in the fact that you kept the appointment with yourself. The blank page isn't a test. It's a gym for your mind.
That's a powerful shift.
The act of sitting down is the rep. Even if you just write, I don't know what to write for 5 minutes, you strengthen the muscle. You showed up. The content is secondary.
Wow. That really changes how I look at those empty pages. It's not a void I have to fill with brilliance. It's just the space to practice showing up.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel a lot better about that dusty notebook on my nightstand. I think I might actually open it tomorrow, and it's going to be messy.
Just remember, keep it small.
5 minutes. Got it. And to our listeners, we want to leave you with a question to kickstart your own practice. Based on what we discussed, what is one small, imperfect step you can take to begin today? Maybe it's just moving a notebook. Maybe it's writing one sentence.
Start small, stay consistent.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. It's been a pleasure unpacking this with you.
A pleasure as always.
Please subscribe to be notified when new episodes drop and visit pagesofpossibilities.com for more information. Catch you next time.